Your armpits are dark, moist and warm, and those conditions are the ideal environment for bacteria to thrive. You can usually tell when a bunch of nasty bacteria has set up home in your beloved armpit, and that's because you'll start to notice a foul smell, or someone else will. See, when some kinds of bacteria mix with sweat, it can cause a reaction, which in turn causes a smell which we have lovingly come to call body odour. Your belly button is pretty much a rainforest of different species of bacteria. A group of North Carolina-based researchers published results of the first of many belly button experiments, in which they swabbed 60 belly buttons and identified a total of 2,368 species of bacteria. One person's belly button harboured a bacterium that had previously been found only in soil from Japan. The strange thing about that is that the guy had never been to Japan. Your belly button is literally a vacuum for all kinds of dirty things. For those of you that have a beard, I may have some not so pleasant news for you. According to microbiologists, some beards contain as much poo as a toilet because they act as a net for germs, bacteria, and pretty much everything. Researchers carried out a study where they swabbed a good number of beards and tested them. While several were of normal cleanliness, a large amount were just as dirty as a toilet. Nice. Remember guys, not all beards, just some. There's no need to start running away or hating on your bearded friends. Germs literally love living under our fingernails. It's a perfect breeding ground for bacteria, fungus and yeast. In the late 1980s, scientists began to take a look at our fingernails to see exactly what lives there. In one study, they swabbed the hands of 28 medical students who did not interact with patients and who had previously washed their hands. They discovered that the fingernails harboured thousands and thousands of germs. The same germs as on unwashed hands, but in a much higher concentration. Surprisingly, the corner of our eyes are quite a dirty spot on our bodies. All the gunk that makes it into our eyes accumulates there. An even dirtier part is our eyelashes. They protect the eyes from dirt, dust and all sorts of bad stuff. If you do end up getting some nasty bacteria in your eyes and end up getting an infection, you will know about it. You can end up with things like conjunctivitis, which can cause a bright red eye, itchiness, inflammation and sticky gunk all over your lashes. Your ears can contain up to 2,000 different types of parasitic bacteria, but fret not, they do a pretty good job of keeping it under control. Now most people think that earwax is pretty disgusting. Well, I guess it kind of is, but it's actually protective and antibacterial. It originates near your eardrum and slowly pushes its way out, dragging all the dirt out in the process. So by sticking things into your ears to clean them out is actually disrupting the body's natural process, and you could just be making things worse. Now this one is quite obvious. Our hands are riddled with microscopic bacteria that gets into our body when we touch our mouths or nose. Think about it. All day long you're touching mobile phones, bus rails, door handles, keyboards, etc, etc. All those things have been touched by countless other people and germs are just being passed around willy-nilly. Don't worry too much though. Many of the microbes are totally harmless and our immune system is usually able to destroy the bad bacteria. But when it gets overwhelmed, that's when you become ill. Your nose is working every minute, every day of your life. You can't just switch it off. It's constantly sucking in dirt and filtering out as much as it can. It's one of our body's first line of defense, but it's also the most vulnerable to bacteria. It's a warm, soggy place that can breed bacteria until it multiplies and spreads around our body, which can then cause a nasty cold or a flu. The anus. You knew this one was going to pop up, didn't you? I'm sorry. It's no surprise the anus is an incredibly dirty place. It obviously comes into contact with feces quite often, and as feces is just waste, it has a large concentration of some of the nastiest bacteria around. Now most people would have thought that the bum is the dirtiest part of our bodies, but truth is our number one dirtiest place is our mouth. When I learned that, I thought there's absolutely no way that the mouth is dirtier than the bum. So I did some research and it turns out Harvard scientists have backed up this claim. These super smart guys did a test where they discovered that anything up to 615 different types of bacteria can be living in your mouth at any one time. I guess it does make sense. You are constantly putting things in your mouth that have their own thriving ecosystem of nasty germs. And that brings this list to an end. If you enjoyed the video, then it would be much appreciated if you give it a thumbs up and shared it. If you're new around here, then why not subscribe for new videos just like this every week. Anyways, I jolly well hope you liked it, and as always, thanks for watching.